Do you know how many skeleton ships I sunk when I had to wake up at certain times of the day to sink them skeleton fleets of 8 ships? 8 ships per fleet. Do you know how many fleets I had to sink?
Welcome to the official, unofficial Sea of Thieves podcast, a podcast dedicated to Sea of Thieves and other rare games, but mainly Sea of Thieves. Today we will be discussing controversial topics about Sea of Thieves and their community. Topics like PVE and private servers, do we want them? Weapon balancing, is Rare doing a good job? And new players, how many times should you sink them before helping them out? To help me discuss these topics and others, I'm again assisted by, well, I want to say my favorite guest, but that's not true. I'm again assisted by a guest.
Are you talking about me? This is UNIBALL. That wasn't very nice, but whatever. I'm here again.
All right. Yeah, I'm joking. You know I like your content.
Yeah, I know.
Especially the music video you did. Again, it's in the script. I watched it 10 times. That's not a lie. I actually watched it well over 10 times. No, I really like that one. Since we are discussing controversial topics, I thought it was smart to have another opinion to add to ours. So we actually have another guest on today's episodes, another awesome creator on YouTube, and someone who is making his debut on this podcast.
Do I get like an intro kind of WWE style music here?
Yeah, sure. If you want, I can end it in.
Hello, I'm Liquorless. I make rhythmic, cinematic, and pyromatic content on the TubeUs. That's my intro.
All right.
Much better than mine.
I'll... All right. So yeah, definitely check both UNIBALL and Liqourless out. They're both amazing content creators and a breath of fresh air compared to most other YouTubers. Or is that a controversial topic? We're also broadcasting this podcast live on Mixer, so feel free to type any questions you would like to ask us. We will discuss those questions at the end. And if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to leave any questions in the comments. We will discuss those questions in the next podcast. So feel free to ask anything about Sea of Thieves, about Rare, and even their other games. And since we are talking about controversial topics this time, I can't stress enough that these will be heavily opinionated. So if you feel different about, say, PVE servers, feel free to share that in the comments, but be polite. If you don't agree with about something me or one of my guests is telling, discuss the topic, not the person. I feel like most of my subscribers are, adult enough to understand this, but considering we are discussing hot topics, I thought I'd just mention it really quick. The goal of this podcast is to hear different opinions, so you can better form your own and hear multiple sides, so you know where other people are coming from. We don't stray away from criticizing the developers on the channel, but as soon as you aim your displeasures at individual persons, well, you can fuck off. So before we dive into the discussion proper, let's discuss some news first. And keep in mind this podcast, we're recording this podcast on the June 7th. And this podcast is going to release a bit later on YouTube. So when you're listening to this now, all our voices are far in the past. So in the beginning of this month, the Steam release happened. Did you guys notice any difference on the seas?
I must say, cruising around a little bit, there's a lot more. Every single player I bump into is new, and it definitely seems like we have kind of a new breed of player. I think having Steam players, of course, it's all PC players, so it's completely different to what we're used to. People can actually shoot guns and hit you in the face. Yeah, it's weird, and you have to play it a lot more carefully, and you definitely have to change the way you approach people because, like I said, people can actually shoot now. The servers are busier, but in that case, it's also, it's just all new players. So I'd give it a couple weeks till we know the real impact, really.
I feel the same. I've only been able to get on just a handful of times this update. I've been working a lot. But every single person I've run across has been a new player.
Oh.
So yeah, every single one. So the syncs have been a lot easier. But then I've also joined like Open Crew, and helped some people out.
Yeah, you're too nice.
I know. I was with Slim Shanty the other day, and we stole this Reapers from this. I think it was like a father-daughter combo, and I felt so bad. And Slim was, he's like, you're a bad pirate. I'm like, I know.
Well, it's an improvement in my book. You were too nice. You once returned an Athena. You told me.
Yeah,
Like I would never do that. I
I-
would never do
I
that.
gave it back.
But oh well. Yeah, for me it's a bit of a mix. Yeah, I kind of switch between Xbox servers and PC servers depending on how I'm playing with. But a lot of my buddies are switching over to PC now. So the last weeks have been a lot of PCs, and yeah, I definitely noticed some new ships. But I usually help them out by luring them, what it feels like to be on the Ferry of the Damned, how you can sail your ship without supplies, where where the best ways are to get hit on the ship and stuff like that. So I'm helping him that way. I'm doing it. I did read a lot of complaints on the forums though, joking aside, about people like from the Steam community not liking the game because they are dumped in the deep, and other guys are used to the naval combat and they just get dumpstered on and they're done with the game. So do you guys think this is a real problem?
I think it's just the natural progression of any game launching at this stage. I think in most games is like that nowadays. For a Steam user to complain like that about the game, I think is kind of stupid. When you consider on Steam, it's mainly games that Rust which are like A-level titles. You got Rust, Escape from Tarkov. I know these are extremely heavy games compared to Sea of Thieves, but that just kind of sets the scene of what general Steam games are like. So for a comment of saying that Sea of Thieves is too hard, I don't really see it being valid, personally. What do you think?
Yeah, me either. I don't think so too. And a lot of the negative comments that I've read on Steam have all just been like trolls. Before the game even launched, it's like just a ton of trolls on there.
Can you give some examples? Like I'm not that familiar with that.
Yeah, everybody's just saying it's a dead game, and just like nobody plays this game. Why is it on Steam? Why is it $40 for a 2-year-old game? And then they just go into these, shouting matches with other people trying to defend the game.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, just play it, and it's still $40. You got a lot of content now.
Yep.
So something else, well, kind of related because this is related to the Steam release. To celebrate this release, Rare is working once again together with Twitch to get us some amazing cosmetics with the Twitch drops. If you're listening to this on YouTube right now, it's really close to finishing. But to give a bit of context, each day you could or /can earn something new by just watching a certain stream for 30 minutes. So have you guys been doing this?
Yes.
I've been watching. Go ahead, you first.
Yeah. I mean, well, since I've been working like crazy, I just have it like on mute in the background, so I could get the drops. So I actually haven't really been watching any content. I just been having it on. But do you want me to elaborate on how I feel about it, or or you go ahead, Liqourless? What have you been doing?
Okay. I think I've been watching occasionally to get the drops. A lot of the drops are obviously things some of us have received. So it's a bit half and half. It's good that they're promoting, the Twitch growth and the people. I have mixed feelings about it, even though it is good. And of course, you got two different opinions. You got people who are partners and people who aren't partners. The part is bringing a lot of players to Twitch, obviously, to watch our creators, which is flipping awesome. But I feel I don't want to stream right now because of it. I feel like if I stream, it's just going to be people constantly saying, "Are there drops here? Are there drops here? Why have you not got drops?" And it's like, I don't know if it's going to benefit my streaming now or not. I know people have said that the viewers are trickling down from the partnered channels, but I just don't want to deal with it right now. I'd rather just go out on the film offline as it is.
Yeah, that's an interesting argument, actually. I had never thought of it that way, that it's quite negative for the people who are not partners at the moment. Like my opinion about this, something I don't really like a lot of the cosmetics so far, like can't look in the future, obviously. People who are watching this YouTube, well, they know already. But so far, most of the rewards are stuff that we have gotten free in the past. But at this moment, there is one that is not. And that's the mystical divination emote, which basically a guy just looking at the skull. That one comes straight out of the Pirate Emporium. And I know some people in my crew have paid for that emote, and now they're giving that one away. So that's bullshit. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I mean, I suppose it is. I mean, I guess It's also the same as, someone buys a vegetable at a shop and then later on the vegetables are going out of date, so the shop starts giving them away, Is that wrong? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Like, aren't you afraid they're gonna do that in the future? And they're like, I really want to buy this new stupid crab dab, but maybe they're gonna give it away in the future for later. So should I buy it now? And if you do buy it and it's the next day it's free, like, damn, you feel bad if you bought it then.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I could understand how someone who's bought it can feel that way, but I think from a business standpoint, it probably makes, I don't think Rare's, like I said, or like like I said earlier, trying to be malicious with anything. So, yeah,
No.
I don't think I have a problem with it, from a business standpoint, of giving certain things away from free, even though people have bought it in the past. I think if you bought it in the past, yeah, it sucks, but yeah,
Oh damn!
I don't have any.
That's I feel that's quite harsh statement, but I might be the only one then. How do you feel like refunding those emotes if they were
No.
there for the event?
No, I like Liquorless's analogy with the fruit.
It's just pixels. It's just dead stock. No one's gonna buy it now. Like,
Yeah.
they might as well give it away.
All right, cool. Well, different opinions then. That's good. That's good for this podcast. I like that you said pixels, by the way. Watch your latest video too, and you've all this video, and you're just dropping it overboard. Oh, don't worry about it, buddy. It's just pixels. And the other guy's like, what the hell are you doing? That's Fort Loot.
That poor kid went through so much.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was funny. All right. So the final news topic is another event, which is a new time-limited event that has now ended. If you're listening to this on YouTube,
Wait, is it for real ended? Like for real ended?
Well, when it released on YouTube, yeah. Now, right now it's active.
No, which one?
The Tall Tales Retold event.
Wait, no. I thought there was 3 days. Wait, hold on. I'm supposed to do those.
Yeah, no, it's still active now.
You can.
For
YouTube.
Days.
For
yeah. Like, I don't know how
on,
much clearer I can be.
Sorry.
All right. We're recording this on Sunday the 7th, right?
Yes.
You know what day this is today? All right, good. Just trying to get you down to earth.
Freaked me out. Okay.
So you still got 3 days to complete it. So to give a bit of context, because maybe listeners are confused right now, the Tall Tales Retold is a time-limited event that the developers put in there quite sneaky. They didn't really promote it. They dropped it basically out of the blue. So to complete it, you need to complete 3 Tall Tales for some exclusive cosmetics. Those Tall Tales are the Shroudbreaker, the Revenge of the Morning Star, and the Seabound Soul. So it feels quite random. And if you complete them, for each one you complete, you get different cosmetics. And kind of big reward, if I'm being fair. So how do you guys feel about the Tall Tales Retold?
I'm personally going to count myself out on this one. I'm not a Tall Tales person. I'll not do it under any circumstances. They're just not my cup of tea. So go ahead, Uni.
I will do them. I love the Tall Tales. When they introduced them, I absolutely loved them. I think there probably is a method to the ones that they chose. We just don't know about. Like, I'm sure there is a reason why they chose those specific 3. But that one cosmetic was, I know a lot of people had said, why don't we have an option to have this cosmetic, for the Morningstar crew?
Yeah.
And now we can get it. Is it the exact same, or is the coloring slightly different? Because the pictures online looks a little slightly off.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I think it's slightly different. I think it's more white, the one from the Tall Tale.
Okay.
But to be honest, if I do the Tall Tale, I just don't put it on. You don't need to put it on for the Tall Tale.
No, you don't. Because I did that.
I think it's different.
Yeah, for my machinima, like I had to get that skull and that chalice like 10 different times.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, you told me.
I did that a ton. But yeah, I want that.
Yeah, it's quite different, because you can have a jacket for one, and you can also have a dress, and you can have a different jacket. So there's a dress jacket, and there's also a battle jacket. So it's and that's quite a lot actually what you can get. I just really don't like the color scheme, like the Viridian green with the what is it? This wine red. Like, yeah, I think it's ugly. But that's very, very opinionated, of course. The one thing I do want to address is that it's bugged. The Seabound Soul is bugged at the moment, and people are listening to YouTube today. That sucks for you, because you don't have anything. You don't gain anything from this information. But for the people who are listening to this live on Mixer right now, I can tell you, if you want to unbug it, so to say, just start the Seabound Soul as regular, go to the Martha Jane Skull checkpoint, and then you start a new game. Vote for the Tall Tale, just complete it as normal, and it should unlock for you. So it does pay to listen to us live. Just saying. And if you want to do that, it's Captain Blubber on Mixer.
So is it bugged every single time right now?
Not every single time, but a high chance. Like the crew I did it with, it was bugged for us, all of us. And then I went to the forums and I heard similar stories. Like entire crews not getting it, and a lot of individual people too. And even when they retry it, it still doesn't unlock. So and there's some more bugs going around that Tall Tale too, because when you do complete for another time, one of your commendations resets. I think it's one for finding the treasure. I think you need to find 3 pieces of treasure in the Tall Tale 2, and those get reset to was 3 out of 3, and now it's 0 out of 3 if you complete it again, but it still counts as completed. So it's something's wrong with that Tall Tale for sure.
Yeah.
But this is the workaround. So if you want to do it,
can I add
that way.
another controversial topic to Tall Tales real quick?
Yeah, sure.
So Slim Shanty showed this to me the other day. If he gets to a certain checkpoint on Tall Tale 9 where you get the coin or whatever, and then you quit the game, if you just like start playing the game randomly, you start that checkpoint, you get the Shroud Breaker on your ship right away. And you could use that to your advantage to just escape people. Just pop the Shroud Breaker on there without having to go to Morrow's Peak.
Oh, thanks. I'll do that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that's a good tip. All right, nice. So why do you think it's controversial?
I don't know. It's just people take advantage of that. They can just have that.
Yeah, that
stored.
is. That's heavily. Yeah.
Yeah. And
it's not controversial though.
It could be. But I just see it as a fun, cool exploit.
It's a blatant exploit.
Thanks for sharing it with us and the listeners. That's good. I'm going to use that. So let's start with the discussion proper, and we're going to start with a big one straight away. PVE and private servers. So I kind of hurled these two together because a lot of arguments for PVE servers are the same arguments for private servers. And when you go to the forums, which is actually fun and interesting if you do that every once in a while, but you will always see this subject popping up. And I guarantee if you go right to the forums right now, click on recent, there's going to be a post about somebody wanting PvE servers. We discussed this last podcast. Joe Neat himself said quite recently that they are not going to do this. But let's set this information a bit to the side and try to answer the question, should Rare have PvE or private servers? So who wants to take this first?
Yeah, why not? Okay. Right. Let's see here. So if someone plays the game on a PvE server, they complete all the PvE in the game. Is it really that much content? First of all, of course, it's not an achievement because you're pulling out the whole PvP factor of the game, which is what raises the difficulty level. So if someone plays through the game full PvE mode, they don't do any PvP, they're all in a private alliance, all working together, so they not only already have a bonus to get the game completed quicker, and they have no threat, they complete the game, then what? Nothing. They don't want a PvP. All they're doing is finishing the game for themselves way too early without experiencing the actual game. So I feel like it's harming them more than it harms us, because we don't care about their achievements. Let's be honest. No one cares. They're just ruining the game for themselves. That's my opinion.
UNIBALL?
Yeah, I have the same opinion. I mean, there's no point in having a PvE server. I mean, the game, was meant to have that, it's a pirate game. It's meant to have that element of, of pirates, of fighting, Even though I
Oh,
mainly PVE, but
yeah.
I completely disagree that there should be PVE only servers. I don't think it's the direction that the game was intended for, and so I don't think they should add that.
All right. Well, that's a very fast discussion. You know what? I'm just gonna throw some arguments for PVE servers, and just we'll take it from there, because I never wanted PVE servers, of course, or private servers or anything like that. But when the Tall Tales first got introduced, I was like, yeah, I don't wanna worry about getting my ship sunk or my quest item stolen, or just ruins the enjoyment, because I really want to dive into a Tall Tale right now and without getting worried about anything. So how do you feel about that? Like, is that an argument for PVE servers?
No, because I did all 9 Tall Tales 5 times each, like within the first 2 weeks. With the same amount of danger or whatever, and you just have to play the game as a part. You have to be aware of your surroundings, and and just know that danger is going to exist. And if you get sunk, you get sunk. And sorry, no. If I could do it, anybody could do it.
All right. I do agree with that. But another argument is, like, some people, they don't want to play this game because they don't like the PvP aspect of it. Like, it's so beautiful. I want to be a pirate. I want to do the Tall Tales. I want to do the fight the Kraken and fight skeleton ships. But I don't want to fight other players. So those people won't buy the game. But if there were PvE servers, they might buy it.
I think they would only be short-term players, to be honest. I mean, well, at the end, when they do finish all this PvE stuff, they will get bored, and then they'll turn to either PvP or leave the game. So, is that fair that you can just complete your whole PvE side of the game and then go PvP and trash on other people who are trying to do PvE? I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that too. There's only one exception. Like, I don't want PvE servers for the same reasons you guys bring up, but the biggest exception for me is when I meet a dad and son combo on a sloop, or what you guys had recently, dad and daughter combo. I feel so bad if I sing them or steal their treasure. It's like bonding experience for them. Obviously, that kid's not gonna get good or experience because it's a small kid and they're just doing it for a as a family thing, as a bonding thing between father and son, or daughter and son, or son and mother, or whatever combination you have. And for those people, I think they would enjoy a PvE server more. So how do you guys feel about that?
You go.
I mean, I can see that they would. But when I meet those types of crews, I'm fairly nice to them. I try to help them out. And I think having players like myself, and I know there's a lot of players that are like this out there, I can give them reassurance that that they can sail safely in a pirate world, relatively safely. I would like to think a lot of people have a heart, but
they do. Most people do.
But yeah, I understand that argument where it could deter them to have that type of experience. But I think I think if they play often enough, they will encounter other players who will be, show empathy towards them, and and help them. And the game is just not full of bloodthirsty pirates. There's a lot of people that play this game, and I think, and that was the main point for Rare, is to have player interactions to see what kind of stories and what kind of things could come from it. So, I think having an element of danger can also bring some bonding elements as well between other players, people that, perhaps wouldn't have had that in a different type of environment.
That's true. And I agree with that, but you don't always know.
Correct. You don't always
know. If it's a combo. Like, I go in guns blazing. Like, I don't even ask questions, not even later.
Yeah, I just
kill everybody I see and take them treasure.
When I kill,
if
I hear like a little kid, I was just like, man, I wish they just didn't have a microphone right now.
Yeah, that's relatable. That's so relatable.
Yeah, but you want to PvP and you're like, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna slit your throat, and then you hear this, what's going on? What's going on? Then you can't do it anymore. I sail with some people that are more ruthless than I am. They just kill children. But I don't know. That's the only reason why I stopped. Like I'm really ruthless, also against new players. I kind of told you that in the beginning. But those combos, yeah, no, they always get a pass from me. Yeah, for sure. And what about the argument that if you have PVE servers, this would also mean that you have PvP servers, and those people might be up for fights. So those servers would become more interesting.
I like that. I mean, somewhat. I think you'd need adjustments both sides. You need a negative to being in a PvE server, of course. It's like a less gold multiplier or something like that. And then you need a bonus for being in the PvP world, like bonus gold, for example.
Yep.
I think a ranking system would be awesome. Like seas. Let's say that you have a red sea and it's only pirate legends allowed. Like that'd be cool. With a gold multiplier and stuff like this. Of course, it would never happen. Like this is completely unrealistic world we're talking right now. It would never happen, but that would be awesome in my opinion.
That's actually not a bad idea. It's just in the main game too. Like why wouldn't you have a section of the map that's only accessible for pirate legends? So when you go there, people are at least at a somewhat same experience level.
The tavern.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit, we already got that. Damn.
I could buy so many cool stuff with new friends.
You can fight endlessly.
Yeah, you can.
No one's safer there in an update.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like one of the reasons I do this podcast with 3 people, even though it's a bit bitch to edit, is to get some more opinions. But we're all on the same side regarding PVE and PV and private servers. So yeah, maybe some people subscribe to the channel. Maybe you guys find a difference. So yeah, feel free to leave a comment. But what about content creator only servers, like private servers for content creators, so they can adjust the daytime and increase spawn rates if they want, and just machinimas and stuff like that.
You go ahead, Liquorless.
Yes.
I think they already know what
Okay.
I want.
I know exactly what you want because I want the exact same. We really need this right now. It's so required, well, especially for like creators like me and UNIBALL and everyone. I think we need the ability we need the ability to host like a private server or something like this, because I know, of course, Rare hosting the servers isn't going to be ideal. Obviously, they can't handle it, which is why they haven't done it yet. I think we need a way to produce better content so we can actually diversify ourselves a bit and make stuff different. We need more camera tools, which is only possible on a private server for creators. But you can't just have private servers just for creators. That's why it has to be self-hosted, because that's not fair.
What do you mean with self-hosted? Can you elaborate?
Like host it on your own internet connection or something, like any other multiplayer game which is local hosted,
Yeah, not rely on Rare to provide the servers for us.
Yeah.
Because that brings overhead on their end. Allow us to be able to host them locally.
All right. So you guys are for it, but we should be able to host them. That's what you guys are saying.
It needs to be fair.
Right. Yeah, it needs to be. We can't. Yeah, you can't just like kind of like. I mean, it kind of goes back to like the Twitch drops where you only have a select group of creators who are truly benefiting from it. I mean, obviously there will be a trickle down effect during this Twitch drop. That other creators will get more views and whatnot. But it's kind of like it needs to be fair to where like the small timers could have a chance to be able to access these.
Can I pick a bone on that while we're here?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the whole Twitch partner thing, I get it. I feel like the requirements are far too high for what the views in Sea of Thieves contains.
Requirements?
Neither 20k subs on YouTube or I'm not sure what the Twitch requirements are. Does anyone know?
It's you need like 10,000 hours a month or something.
Which is crazy, absolutely crazy.
It's crazy.
I'm sure
it's crazy.
for the viewage that we have, the requirements are way too high.
Yeah.
So even if we had private servers just for creators, it would still be out of our league. So that would be ridiculous.
Exactly. Like the YouTube requirement, I can only think of who are actual Sea of Thieves, primarily Sea of Thieves content creators, maybe 5 or so that are over 20,000 subs.
Yeah,
There's not many
I can
at
name
all.
3, and
You
that's
know?
about it.
So
yeah,
I mean, granted, there's other people that come in and will make content that have like hundreds or thousands or million subs or whatever, but they're not primarily Sea of Thieves guys. Sea of Thieves,
Yeah.
there's only a handful that meet that actual YouTube requirement.
Yeah, but it comes with obligations too, right? If you are a YouTube partner, obligations, like it's a two-way thing, right? So you get a
I'm
lot
not
of
sure.
benefits. Ooh,
I think it's
thought
more
I'm not-
rewards for you plugging that game.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if like,
Alright.
I mean, you get firsthand contact with the devs. You probably sit on roundtables with other partners. You get all these. You probably get all the drops and all the things that you can give out to further promote your channel.
A bunch load of ancient coins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Twitch drops. I mean,
Boxy had like 8,000 ancient coins.
yeah, I think they get an allowance every month.
Yeah.
Wow, sweet.
I don't want the ancient coins. Okay, I just want the private service.
Yeah,
That's all I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the moment, do they get the private servers?
No, only
Okay,
See.
nobody does.
yeah, only like Sea of Champions is those servers are being hosted by Rare, and they need like they have employees, delegated to be working those hours like on hand for support and for whatever to help make sure those things run smoothly. So even then they're asking a handful of Rare employees to be on hand, during those things.
Do you feel like they should allow private servers for content creators that are part of the creator crew? Is that a way you would like to see it?
Well, the creator crew is
What is the creator
is
crew, really?
poo. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
say
Like, here's an asset pack. That's it. Your creator crew now.
exactly.
That's basically it. Yep. And you get some fun images
and
you
then-
can use and some sound bites you can use, and it hasn't been updated in 3 months.
Yeah, you spam the forums. Everybody gets an average of 3 to 4 views with no comments.
That's true.
And then they have their contests, which I think were cool. They had that cool little prize with the unique controller. But they ever since the everything going on with the world, they've kind of halted on the contest.
Yeah.
Really, so
True. Yeah, and with the split between the asset packs, which kind of sucks for me because I use them a lot in my videos, and need to Google it now.
So that's another thing. Are the partners getting these the asset packs that we're not getting?
I think so.
I think so too.
I think so. And they get them in advance too, because when I watch other
Their thumbnails.
bigger YouTubers, they have thumbnails,
They already
and
have 'em.
even if you go in the video, and it's different too. Like I feel like they get more as well, which I don't get, because why don't you give it to everybody, like every content creator? Doesn't matter how big they are, because it's just only gonna promote your game, right? So just distribute that shit.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because of the crisis we're in right now. Maybe they haven't thought it through, or maybe there's another reason behind it.
It's probably just low priority on their totem pole with everything going on.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So final question. Would you guys pay for private servers for content creators?
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh. All right.
Give it to me.
Yeah, that's same.
Take my money.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, you guys are more into creating stories, of course, especially UNIBALL. So I get it. You guys want to pay for it. Like, for me, it's just a hassle if I need to wait till it's noon in the game to get certain shots, be it for a thumbnail or be it to showcase the new cosmetics. So that's I still want it, but paying for it for the stuff. Like I can wait 15 minutes for the sun gets up. I'm fine with that. It's gonna be a low price, and then I would do it too. Yeah. But what will you guys, if you should put a price on it, what will you guys get for it?
Okay. I think you have to consider, of course, the target audience, the value of it, what they can do with it. That would be very important. I think, of course, if they was to do it, it couldn't just appeal to creators. It would have to be for everyone to use. So it would need, tools to do stuff, like time and day cycling, spawning stuff, and all kind of situational game setup type deals you got going on. Maybe some little custom game modes to put your friends in there. All that type of stuff. I think
will be cool.
A reasonable price would be either Xbox Pass Ultimate, and then you get unlocked to it, or maybe like a $8 price point. I'd say that's like Minecraft Realms price. I think. So I think that's reasonable.
That would be way too much for me, but I'm poor, so.
Yeah, I think. What is that? Yeah, I mean, the last time we spoke about this, I didn't know what a proper price point was, and we looked up Fallout, and
there was like the best example you can have.
It was like $100 a year.
Prices of a greedy company.
It was like $100 a year, and like I was
$100 a year.
I was okay with that, and that's roughly $8.25 per month or whatever it is.
You're saying Bethesda wasn't greedy with that? If you would agree to that price?
Oh, I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, I get it. Like I said, I get it for you. Like I'm just getting excited by the idea of you having access to private servers. I think you can do some real cool shit with that.
Yeah, my brain is exploding right now, but it's weird.
That's why you're quiet.
I mean, because I have, like I haven't been playing much just because like my current project I'm on for work, like I'm in bed like an hour when I get off of work. Like I'm just dead. So I haven't been playing much, but I do have, a play session I had with Slim Shanty that I wanted to do, and do some recreating, but I mean, it would just be, it's almost way too much to do. And it's way too much of an ask for other people to help out, on that kind of stuff. So like the ability for me to have a private server to where I don't, where I can probably do a lot of it on my own with maybe one or two people, instead of trying to organize, 4, 5, 6 people. It would be a lot easier to do.
Well, it would make things so much easier. Of course, It can't just apply to a creator audience. It's got to be profitable. But it would unlock so many avenues for creators. Like we wanted to make we was planning or kind of like looking into the idea of making like a series or kind of film. But when we started to look into it more, it was just without private servers, it's going to take us years to complete.
Yeah.
So we just gave up on the idea, really.
And I want to make another music video. I've made one, but I want to do another one, which is quite bigger, even bigger than UNIBALL's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do it.
I mean, it's probably one because you have a certain talent for it, but I want to give it a shot too. But I can only do that with private servers, otherwise it's too much of a hassle to even start beginning the project like that. So let's go to the next topic, which is alliance servers. So even without Rare giving the option for PVE servers, members of the community have taken their matters in their own hands and have started alliance servers. And for the people who don't know, alliance servers are basically, well, you get a bunch of people in the same server together and you get an alliance. So these are not strangers. So basically what you do is you start a galleon, you go hunting for other ships, and you buy their ships or ask them politely if one of your bodies can join them on their ship. And eventually you will get a lot of ships on the same server. You make a Reddit post about it, say, hey man, if you just want to grind it out, join this, here are my gamer tags, and they keep those servers alive for as long as they can, and nobody's doing any PvP. It can be fun, don't get me wrong, like it can be nice to meet people and have a stress-free experience. So, how do we feel about this type of player behavior?
You first.
Okay, so
containing yourself.
I like it. I like it because they can provide content for content creators.
All right.
I'm all about. I mean, I'm
but
all,
but giving content creators out of the side, because that's not what alliance servers are about.
Oh, I
They're
know.
about
I know.
grinding FOTD and
the
stuff like
content
that.
is them infiltrating the alliance servers.
Yeah.
Which we can't anymore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's true. But I'm all about allow people to do their own thing. So I'm okay with people
Mhm.
doing it. I will admit I participated in one like fall of 28, like before Forsaken Shores came out. This is the only one I participated in, and it did get compromised, and a galleon just came around and just destroyed everybody and pissed everybody off. It was actually
Probably
pretty
me.
it was pretty funny. But I'm all about people doing what they want to do. I know it's kind of exploity to hold a whole server and whatever, but I'm still all about allowing people to play the game they want to play, and if they want to go through the effort of creating an alliance server and spend all that time and do it, then whatever, do it. Just know that like Pace or Boxy or somebody might get wind of it and come in and just destroy everything.
What's your opinion, Liquorless?
Okay. Okay. From my perspective, I am a person who all I do is kill people and pillage, and I don't do any PvE kind of stuff. I find it boring. I don't want any peace in the seas at all. Okay. So alliance servers, I feel like unless there is still an element of risk, if you have all 6 ships locked under your alliance, I do not like you. I feel like this is cheating. I feel like it's reducing the element of risk, which is part of the game. I feel all values and progression all considers risk into its achievement, and I feel like you're going against that when you do that. So also, let's throw a little a stick in the cogs, and let's say people, they hop together to get ships on the same server, right, before they start an alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Is that an exploit? Are you then exploiting a method to achieve your cheating method of doing PvE? Question mark.
Ooh, there is something controversial, which is good.
Yeah, I think it could be considered.
Yeah. Another thing with alliance servers, they invalidate all achievements in this game for everyone who does them legitimately. And I'm really against that, because some people really do care about, gaining achievements and getting there themselves and then showing it off. Like it's like in RuneScape back in the day. If you had a 99 cape, you was a don, right? You was an absolute don and you felt it. But in Sea of Thieves, imagine it was just a RuneScape person and he hacked his skill cape. That skill cape is now worthless. No one cares because one guy did it and then everyone thinks everyone's done it. So I feel like you're invalidating other people's achievements, which is wrong.
Yeah, that's why I didn't even take that into consideration. That is true.
No, I feel too. Like all the rewards you're gonna get with those servers are hollow. They're hollow rewards. And I wanted to address this a bit earlier too, because I don't want to sound like a hypocrite. Because we sometimes do take over another ship to get some accommodations out of the way. Like for example, with Festival of Giving, there was this terrible accommodation.
That was just
absolutely
bad.
Terrible. Yeah, and
Yeah,
to explain to the listeners, like the thing you need to do was get gifts, like the gifts in the game, like the generous gifts and the humble gifts, give them to another crew, and they needed to turn them in at the Reaper's hideout. But that not only this is all pretty annoying to do, it was time limited. So if you missed that mark, that accommodation was gone, and it was a title. That title was gone. So you kind of need to do it. So me and my crew, I don't think we did it then. I think I got legit that one. But I know a lot of people that bought other ships, that got their bodies on another ship, so they had 2 ships in the server to knock that accommodation out. And I've done it with other accommodations too. I think with the Cruise of Rage, you need to steal 2 Cruise of Rage chests, like the angry chest. What's the name of it? Chest of Rage. Yeah.
Yep.
You need to steal 5 of them. I did it that tune. I don't think there was a time limited accommodation, but it was just so tedious to do that if you were to do it for real. So those are exceptions where I can see, all right, you should get 2 ships in the same server with your bodies.
Yeah, I think 2 ships is fine, There's still an element of risk, That's my main thing is as long as there's still risk, it's acceptable. If there's still a chance of paste coming in and, quote, trash canning your whole server, that's fine, But when you just lock 6 ships in a server, I find that a problem.
No, I agree. Anything you would like to add, Uni?
Yeah, no, I'll just go back on the invalidating. Like, when they first came out with the Legendary Thief title, like everybody's like, oh man, that's gonna be so blah blah. But every single person that has, not every single person, but there's a 99% of the people out there, their Legendary Thief titles are completely invalid. Like I've had 6 Athena steals, 5 of them were invalid, 1 I gave away. Like
yeah, I catched up. Like I've done at least I know I've done at least 5 legit steals. When I first got accommodation, like I think 3 of them were not legit. But in my defense, I actually stole other Athenas that didn't count, because if you dig up a chest from somebody in your alliance, like we actually figured out where their Athena island was, and we dug it up while being in their alliance, it actually counts to us. So when you turn it in, to us it's a steal, of course, but the game doesn't recognize it as a steal.
Yeah, because you tagged it.
Yeah, because we tapped it. We tapped that booty. But since then I've got my legitimate Athena, so it's all good, I feel. All right, so the next topic, I want to talk about spawn killing, but since this is kind of similar, I want to talk about purple name tags for alliances first, because I think it goes nicely after this discussion, because it's harder to infiltrate alliance servers now, because we have purple name tags for people that are in the same alliance. So how do you guys feel about this?
I don't like it.
Sucks.
That's how I feel.
It sucks.
I hate it.
I've talked with a lot of people about this. One of my subscribers doesn't mind, and I'll open it real quick. It's from Pella. He says, I'm a very PvP oriented player, and I really don't mind the alliance name tag change. For alliances, it's a really good improvement, since in the heat of the fights, it is really hard to recognize people just by their luck or nick. Also, there are some closed sets that are more popular than others, and it's not very uncommon to find pirates that look similar. Infiltrating alliances now is restricted to either join in it or to make them fight each other by also being sneaky. I don't think this is too bad. So how do you guys feel about that?
It's not. It's definitely not. I'm definitely going to miss going onto a Fort that Damned when someone's in an alliance and joining them by the vault door as they open it, pretending to be in their alliance. Yeah. I'm going to miss them times. I definitely will. But I can see how it's a good thing in a way. I get it. But from my perspective, as a person who's stealing from them without a boat, I don't like it.
Yep, totally agree. No,
yeah.
And that subscriber is actually the only one that made a case for purple name tags. I don't like it. I really don't like it, and I really feel they should revert to it. But that's just how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I get why they did it, and like there were times, where like, okay, yeah, this is beneficial to know who's who. But yeah, I think you take away that element of surprise, like that element of sneaky piratiness, and
be smart about it yourself, right? When I don't do alliances often, but when I do, I make sure I know what the pirate look like, because I don't want to shoot them on accident. I take note to remember the gamer tag, and to get a feel about how their pirate looks. And I feel that's part of the game. Those elements where you need to think for yourself in this game, instead of letting the game tell you that they're in an alliance, you need to figure it out for yourself. That's part of Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, no,
I think
agree.
it's a good thing.
When the last time I joined an alliance, it was 2 sloops and we fought 3 galleons. And before we got into like the real heat of the battle, I yelled at the other sloops like, "Hey, this UNIBALL and Slim Shanty are on this sloop, so just watch out, for our names."
So let's go about the next topic. That's spawn killing. I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm not going to do an interlude on this. How do you feel about spawn killing?
I think it has its place. Of course, scenario and context matters a lot. Someone who has been insulting me as I've rammed them, or someone who has stolen my treasure and I need them to sink quick enough, I think spawn killing is warranted. I think if someone is a new player, for example, spawn killing obviously is not warranted. Killing someone for no reason when they're not sinking is not warranted. I think there's a time and a place for it. Of course, there's a strategical point to it. It's an action that you do for a reason. Keeping someone alive is not beneficial if you're trying to sink them. I get it. I know Xbox load times have issues, of course, because they take longer to load in, but what can we do about that realistically? Give them a chance and wait 10 seconds? Kind of risky. But yeah, that's my thoughts.
All right. How about you, Uni?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. And I mean, because there are strategic, there is strategic value in spawn killing. It sucks to be on the other end of it. But I think since there is actual point to it, in some way. Like, granted, there are going to be people that are just going to troll you, and just going to be complete buttheads about it, who are not trying to sink you. All they're trying to do is troll you, But since there can be strategic value in it, I don't think there's any real way to police it.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I think it's here to stay.
I mean, that's why we have the scuttle option, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. If your boat's already under control from the enemy, there's obviously a point where you give up when you're getting double shot in the back as you spawn. Scuttling's the only thing you do. If you keep going back to die, that's your own choice when you leave the dead realm. Just scuttle your boat. That's what you can do.
No, I'll agree. The only scenario I want to add to that is when you're taking their supplies. Yeah, I'm gonna keep spawn killing you till all your supplies are on my ship, and that's the only other situation. Yeah.
Or pull your instrument out. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. They might hide a cutlass behind that hurdy-gurdy. That's one thing that this game taught me. Don't trust anybody and don't take risks. Oh yeah, and wait, there's not one other one. Is I'm gonna be really honest. I did spawn kill people out of frustration like a couple of times, just after a long chase, like after an hour. I'm so done with it. And then you board the ship, and there's not even treasure on the ship, right? And like, why?
Relatable, very relatable.
Yeah, and then I'm like, all right, you're gonna get it now. You're just gonna get it. You're gonna meet the fairy a lot.
You need your 5 minutes of combat for the hour you just spent chasing them. You need to vent a little bit.
Indeed. Yep, and that's the only other situation where I would allow spawn killing like that.
Yeah, that's why I knew in one of my videos there's a crew that was chasing me and my buddy, and they were in a brig, and I knew that's exactly what they wanted to do. So at the very end, when they finally were able to get on my boat, my buddy had already sold some other stuff, I just started swimming away. Because I knew that's what they wanted to do, and they just sat there. One guy sat on my boat, not knowing what to do, while the other guy was just taking cannon shots on my boat. And I was just swimming away.
Wait, was that one? Did you make a YouTube video about that?
Yeah, that was the one with
the real pirate legend.
Yeah,
Is that video? Yeah, it's a good video.
Because I didn't want to give them the satisfaction of like spawn killing me.
So those guys were dicks too.
Yeah, they were.
Like you could tell. Yeah. All right. The next topic is Emporium prices, and I just want to get the opinion of Liquorless on this one, because me and UNIBALL have done an entire podcast about Emporium. So if you want to listen to our opinion, you should listen to that one. But a lot of prices in the Emporium are a little bit overpriced. So how do you feel about that, Liquorless?
I agree. They are overpriced for sure. I get it at the same time, but I feel like some of the prices, especially the boats should be designed a little bit better. Not taking shots at any artists out there. I'm just saying, if you compare this game to other games, their skins have a lot more vanity to them. There's a lot more variety and glowy things and things that kids like, and animations and all this kind of stuff for like half the price that Rare charge for a boat skin. I think you have to consider that, what other games offer. I agree, yeah, they're just overpriced. As for weapons and things like that, they're quick. They're just dying memes, weapon skins, so you can sell them for cheap, I mean, really, people get bored of their weapon skins quicker than their Lego sets, so there's no point keeping them high prices, The pirate potion, though, it should stay low cost. I know it won't, but I get it. That's a okay price at the moment. That's good.
I feel, yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, it's definitely overpriced.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing. So let's go to matchmaking. And with matchmaking, I mean if players should be based on servers, well, get into servers based on their skill level. So I'm asking for both arena and adventure. Should Rare implement matchmaking in their game modes?
I think it would be too much for them to even to try to attempt. I think in adventure, no, I don't think they should. In arena, I think they would have to look at their numbers and see if they can actually do it. To me, I mean, I don't play arena much, so I can't say, but just from an outside perspective, it almost felt like, especially when the arena was first introduced, people were in long queues, so matchmaking would be, they were just trying to get people to play. So to actually divide that up, I don't think there would be a benefit to it.
No, I agree. Adventure, no way. You need the organic, the organic meeting of players. If everyone's a sweat, everyone's a skilled player, it's definitely not going to be fun. Just putting it out there. All of the tryhards would all leave the game, I can guarantee. As for arena, if you was let's speak in an unrealistic world where there's no waiting times and no queue problems or anything like this. A system based on your arena ranking, of course, would require like an elo. Anyone who's watching who doesn't know what that is, it's basically you'd have a rating, and then when you lose some of that rating. When you win, you gain some of that rating. That would be good. Yeah, I agree with skilled matchmaking for that, because then we could actually have a competitive environment and we could actually see who the cream of the crop players really are. As for where was I? Yeah. Anyway, the Rare's never going to implement arena matchmaking like that with Elo or anything like that, because they just got over the 40-minute queue times down to 20-minute queue times. It's never going to happen. Let's be real. I think it would be amazing. Don't get me wrong. I don't think many people would do it, though. I don't think they have the player base for it. The actual arena community, and when I say arena community, I mean the people who really are diehard arena and care about the game mode of arena, not just there for their cosmetics. It's very small, very small. And it's very rare that you actually see them people anymore. Now we've got this new influx of Steam players. So I guess we'll see how it goes, and maybe down the road they could add some kind of ranking system into the levels, maybe. For the, what do we call it? Sea Dog levels? I cannot remember this. If we had like an elo on that, maybe on top of like the commendations or something like that to reach certain elos and stuff. Maybe down the road. Now we've got Steam players, we have an opportunity for it, maybe. But at the moment, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it would be cool. I just don't see them being able to do it. I don't think, there's probably not enough players for them to, do something. I mean, they would have to look at the cost on their end, I don't think it makes sense for them to do it yet, unless, arena really starts popping off. I think they would need more numbers, more data.
Yeah,
to implement.
I agree. They have other things to worry about now. Like the waiting times and loading times, stuff like that. And after that, you can build it up and start expanding it with elos. I've never heard that term before, but I know Overwatch uses the same.
But it would be cool.
Sorry
for interrupting, but just the tournament champions that they had the past couple weeks. I mean, people came to watch those things, and they were generally more experienced crews. But there are, obviously there are better crews out there that a lot of people don't know about. So it would be cool to have. They just have to see.
Yeah. Plus you would get the thrill of battle, and you feel yourself competing too. So it would be more interesting to watch those events too, because you're like, oh, I want to get better and I want to see how those people are doing. If you're just, spawn killing an AFK ship in an arena, let's be fair, does happen a lot. Then you don't feel compliant to get any better in an arena, so you probably won't watch those competitions a lot. So it helps on a lot of different ways. Right now, arena is not in that place. You were talking about people who are really into arena. I would be one of those people if it wasn't for those atrocious loading times, especially for a galleon. The only downside to it is I'm terrible with an Eye of Reach, and I still need my Eye of Reach skills. And if we would have an elo system, I would never complete accommodation. So that's the only arguments why I wouldn't want it. But for the rest, I love competition. I love getting those tight wins. So yeah, matchmaking in arena definitely not an offensive, because you want to be nice to, well, not me, but people want to be nice to noobs one day and have a great experience that way. So on to the next controversial topic, and that's weapon balancing. Weapon balancing, are they doing a good job? I want to emphasize, I want to reaffirm that this podcast is being recorded on the 7th of June. So this might be one of the most dated topics we're going to talk about. And when I'm talking about weapon balancing, I mean balancing in PvP situations. So originally I wanted to talk about each weapon individually, but since they all influence each other, I thought, well, let's bundle them all together. So let's do a quick overview about the weapons right now. So the Cutlass does 25 damage per swipe, and the Lunge does 60 damage. Eye of Reach has the slowest reload speed, but does 70 damage. The Flintlock does 50, and Blunderbuss shoots 10 pellets, and each pellet does 10 damage. So the Blunderbuss is also the only weapon that can one-shot kill at the moment. So that's the state of weapon PvP combat right now. So how do we feel about the current state of PvP combat? You can go first, Liquorless, because I believe you have a lot to say about this subject.
How did you know? Okay. Let's set the scene first. Let's say, okay, so you have to remember in Sea of Thieves, we have pretty much unlimited movement. You can jump and whatnot while you're reloading. So we have to take all these things into consideration when we're messing with weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, yeah, we have the sword, which is 25 damage. Actually, I'm not sure whether we should also consider the fact that we do have these quite hit registration problems and these types of stuttering.
Oh, no, it goes all with it.
Okay, so we'll remember that we have all these problems in place to work around at the same time. I feel like the sword, 25 damage, the damage buff was never the problem with the sword. We didn't need that buff. That makes no sense at all. The problem with the sword is the maneuverability and being able to move around with the sword. So at the moment we have a 25 damage from one hit with a swing, and then 60 damage when you charge. And charging takes a significant longer amount of time than swinging at someone 3 times. So already, that doesn't make sense. And charging also has a consequence of missing, which will get you killed at least 7 times out of 10 if you're against someone who can shoot you with his magical blunderbuss, that is. so
I wonder how you
already...
feel about that.
We'll get to the blunderbuss, trust me. So the sword is already unbalanced. We need to be able to move around with it. We need no consequence to sword lunges, and we need that damage to go back to 20, because we do not need 25 damage. It makes no sense. It's not fluid. Having a 1, 2, 3, and then a 1 doesn't make any sense. It doesn't feel right. We don't need 25 damage, and we need more maneuverability. What do you guys think about the sword, first of all?
I primarily use sword, and I don't like the new buff or the increase in damage. I totally agree with every single point. I think I want the sword back how it was at launch. I didn't find any issue with it. I think the cooldown on the sword lunge is horrible. And I wish that they reintroduce the way to get out of it. I don't think it was like, I don't know. I don't feel like it was an exploit. I feel like it was, it was a skill-based thing. I don't think a lot of people were utilizing it. And I think if they put it back, I think still a lot of people wouldn't utilize it. I don't know. I just miss the original sword.
Yeah, I'm a bit easier with all these updates. Like I'm not as competitive with this game as I was for Overwatch, where every little tweak could get me riled up. For this game, I usually go with the meta, and the meta is now, well, it happens to be favorable for Cutlass users. So, all right, I'm gonna use my Cutlass now a bit more. Like usually I would be flintless, cutlass, but I would be using it differently when I board somebody. Now it's just, I want to focus primarily on my cutlass use, and I just go with the flow. Like I know I'm terrible for this discussion. I just go with the flow, what the meta does, and unless it's really a problem, like the hit rate is a problem. Like I can tell you about sword stun that doesn't feel all that fair all the time, or basically when I block and people swipe right through my block.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it perfectly. Like stuff like that does annoy me.
Yeah.
And, and that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, it feels like you can't get away from the sword. Like there's as soon as you get into, what some people call is the sword vortex, like you're done. Like you can't. Before there was escapability, but now there's just none. You're screwed.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Of course, definitely. Yeah.
I think that extra swipe difference where the 5 damage wasn't there was like the only chance of getting out the sword vortex.
Exactly, yeah.
Which was the difference. When they added that 5 damage, it was just like a game changer instantly. Yeah. And it just reduced the skill cap by so much. And now it's just, a matter of positioning. Well, like positioning is everything now to get away from that goddamn sword.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on then. So now we got the flintlock. Okay, flintlock.
I love how you're taking us over the podcast. you're the host now. I love it.
Not permanently. Okay. The flintlock. Okay, so we got 50 damage, quick reload times, hip firing is all good. Honestly, I feel like the flintlock is in good position. I don't think we need to buff the damage. I think you could maybe to like 60 or 55. I don't think it's necessary though. 2 hit kill is pretty standard. It's good. I think flintlock's good. Everyone agree?
I agree.
I agree.
Have they even touched the flintlock since launch?
No.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's since launch.
I feel like they haven't.
Like that one has remained the most untouched. At least no big changes. The thing I do want to address real quick about the flintlock is that it has become powerful now with the sword buff. Because now it's 2 slices and then you can shoot them and then they die. And before it was 3 slices.
Yeah.
So the indirectly the flintlock has become more powerful. And for me, the go-to combo is now cutlass flintlock, because I can miss my 3rd slash, but if they run away or if they reposition, I can still get them with my flintlock. So the flintlock is thanks to the buff to the sword, the flintlock is in a better position right now. So that's the only thing I want to say about it.
Yeah. So flintlock's good.
Yeah.
Let's go to the let's take the biggest discussion last. So let's go Eye Reach. Eye Reach. Now, when I think of a broad spectrum of guns and the way you equip guns and how heavy they are and just the general of how guns, basically. With a rifle is a significantly powered weapon. A pistol is a one-handed weapon. Rifle you hold with 2 hands. So why is a rifle only 20 more damage than a pistol, I'm wondering? That's my main question, is why is a 2-handed weapon only 20 more damage than a pistol? And of course, you then have the issue of having to hit 2 sword swings after that instead of, which I think should be 1. Yeah. So I feel like a damage buff on the sniper to 75 would be acceptable to make it balanced again.
Yeah, I think it was original 80. Was the original 80?
It was. Yeah.
And then I think the whole purpose of them playing with the damage on the sniper is to purposely make it a snipe 2-swing kill. I think they wanted to get rid of the snipe 1-swing kill, which I don't understand why. That was my go, especially when you could no scope. That's like, but yeah, I totally agree. I don't understand why the damage keeps getting lower on the Eye Reach. Yeah.
So, what was I about to say?
Heavy weapon.
I just totally lost
more
track.
Damage.
Yeah, I want more damage for sure on the Eye Reach. I think 2 swings is too much. I think when they improve the sword, I don't think they bared any of that in mind, what you just mentioned. I think they just completely ignored it and buffed the sword and ignored the complete state of the sniper. That's how I feel. Anyway,
I feel the same. They were like, "Oh, we need to do something about Cutlass. What will do these changes?" And totally forgot about the fact how it influences the other weapons. It feels like that. Maybe they thought things over, but it feels like they didn't.
yeah, I don't see, Joe and all the arena devs and everyone sitting in the staff room at their whiteboard with a picture of a flintlock and a sniper and having the damage ratios and going, yes, I think that's correct, everyone. What if we did this? Pointing at his whiteboard. I don't see them doing any of that, to be honest. Okay, let's move on to the home wrecker. The blunderbuss. Okay, I think the blunderbuss needs a nerf. Can I get an all hands in agreement?
Yes.
No.
No.
My hands are not raising.
Okay. Let us know.
All right. Well, you go first. Go for it.
Okay. I feel like now that the blunderbuss is the only weapon with knockback, of course, sword does after 3 swings, but it's not a gun. Forget the sword. The blunderbuss being the only weapon with knockback and 100 damage is unacceptable. I think the ability to being one shot is ridiculous, but I do have a nerf which I think would be acceptable to keep both sides happy. I understand the side who wants to bridge the skill gap so that anyone has a chance of killing a man on their ship with one tap of their magical blunderbuss. I get it, and I want to make this viable for both of us. We both have to live on the same sea. So I think instead of you randomly throwing your Xbox controller at the wall and then spinning and then hip firing me in the face for 100 damage, I think this isn't fair. Okay, I think you should have to aim. And I think aiming down sight should reduce the cone of your blunderbuss to the current state that it already is. And then when you're hip firing, the bullet spread should be much wider. Because when I fire my sniper at the floor, it goes to the next country. And I don't feel like that's fair compared to the blunderbuss. So I'm not saying you have to nerf damage. That's right, I'm nearly finished. I'm not saying you have to nerf damage. I'm saying you could by 10 damage, but people aren't going to like it. I'm saying, please just nerf the radius of hip firing a blunderbuss. Go ahead.
All right. Let me quickly, get some arguments for why I don't want to have it changed. And you kind of you hinted at it, but let me give the context because it's a defensive weapon and it should be made to defend, yourself from borders. It's powerful and it comes from both sides because if you feel like the blunderbuss is OP, well, somebody else can use it too. Well, if you can use it too, so it's both OP for both sides. So that's kind of the arguments for, and you kind of hinted like that. But the hip fire is interesting because I don't hip fire with my blunderbuss. I always aim down sights. Maybe that's something I always did in first person shooters. Like it's still in my muscle, in my memory to do. So, and whenever I got killed by a blunderbuss, I always felt they were aiming down sights too. So my experiences are a little bit different than yours. So I'm just going to take your word for it and say that indeed you do get a one shot when you're not aiming down sights. And if that's the case, which I'm sure it is, then yeah, I totally agree with that. I think your solution sounds good. Yeah, just aim down sights with the blunderbuss if you want a one-shot kill. Otherwise, it's going to be ridiculously hard to do. And yeah, it feels fine.
Yeah, I think the combat is, of course, Rare has kind of thrown at a combat balancing back and forth. And I feel like one man, just because 2 crews have a rocket launcher doesn't make the rocket launcher balanced in this game. So I feel like if they just added a couple of tiny fixes, I think the combat could be in a good place.
How do you feel about it?
I hate it.
UNIBALL.
I hate the blunderbuss. And then to look at the ADS for the blunderbuss does provide a tighter cone than the hip fire. Like Narfield just did a video on. I mean, but it's very slight.
Right.
It's very slight though. So yeah, I mean, I don't like that it's one shot. There was a point where it wasn't one shot. I just really, it's so disheartening.
Was there?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
When was it?
I think early on.
Long time.
I think when it first started, it was a one shot, and then they nerfed it to where it wasn't one shot. Then they brought it back to a one shot.
Oh shit! Can't remember that at all. Damn.
And then yeah, I guess maybe the intent was for it to be a defensive weapon, but people, a lot of people aren't using it as a defensive weapon. A lot of people are using it as an offensive weapon. I think it needs to be relooked at. Maybe the difference is where you have to ADS to get that one shot. Like, no matter what.
I think it'll be significant.
Yeah, because I do feel a lot of people are just hip firing.
But I need to pay more attention to that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at like I think if you watch Freemason, I know if he's had some issues with ADS with the blunderbuss. A lot of times when he, the couple times I've watched him, he would try to hip fire with the blunderbuss and then he'd make a comment like, that's why I need the ADS, or something in that respect. I don't know the exact context of it, but I know he had some issues with it. So I think you need to.
Yeah, it doesn't help with all the issues they introduced when they did add this removal of quick swapping guns, because it did add in this kind of clunky visual for ADSing most weapons, which also doesn't help.
Yeah.
No,
that's just part of the problem.
Like I don't know. It feels like they're figuring PvP combat out for the first time.
Yeah, it is weird. It just seems like it just keeps getting worse and worse.
Yeah, and they come with these solutions. Oh, we do this now. Oh, no, we need to balance it that way then. And then we balance that way out. And I'm like, oh my God, guys, just tweaking it way too much. It's, I don't know.
The problem is they don't have... Sorry. I feel like the problem is they don't have a non-biased source when it comes to PvP and the overall state of the game. I feel like they're listening to the wrong audiences.
I think so too. I just want this. I just want the sword to, like, if I can dash, hit an object, block, jump out of it, I'll be happy.
Yeah, I want how it used to be back in the day.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
Everything was better.
Yeah,
and I didn't have to pay bills and could have sex three times a day.
Exactly.
Oh my God,
I know. The good old days. All right. Well, listeners, let me know how you guys feel about weapon balancing, and if you got any good ideas of how you guys would like to see it. So the next topic is a topic I added, so it wasn't in the original notes, but before we started this podcast, I was saying with a guy, and one of his friends just started playing as well, and he got Pirate Legend in a few days, which feels unfair because players like us, we spent months upon months getting to Pirate Legends, and nowadays it's quite easy to reach that elusive title. So how do you guys feel about that?
You go first.
Yeah, it is kind of disheartening to see, it become that easy of an achievement. But I mean, granted, they have given more avenues, so like, with the different factions that you could raise it up in. So overall, it should be easier for people to get it, and then plus all the treasure and everything. There's just so much more in the game.
But within a week, I'm fine with it being easier. I mean, that's just progression of the game, and new players they have more stuff, and I think it's fair if they get there a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
But within a week.
But it all depends on how many hours the guy. But you know what I mean? Like,
that's also true.
He could be in a coma right now in a hospital, but he's a pirate.
Yeah, well, he's AFK in an alliance server.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, but I guess that's just how it is, in a lot of games, like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we need to make things faster for new players because no one has patience anymore. I get it. It makes the game more appealing to everyone. Getting Pirate Legend in 2 days, yeah, that's too quick. I'd like to know the methods of how he did it. Of course, Alliance servers would be stemming back to our previous topic, exploiter. But yeah, it shouldn't be that quick. I mean, it really shouldn't. Of course, we've had content extended now, so we have a bit more to achieve in that time. But yeah, it's not fair on everyone else who used to do it.
Nah, I agree. Yeah, it's a bit too fast.
Yeah, and they definitely. I mean, but the Athena grind has been reverted back a lot slower. At least in my last experience, I know they had that. Everybody was recycling the emissary quest.
It's true.
But you know what? True. I did 2 Devil's Roar, like to finally get to Athena 20. I did 2 Devil's Roar Athena runs and did not get Emissary 5 after 2 runs.
Oh yeah. And people are doing the runs too. It takes 2 runs of Thieves Haven now to a little bit less, but almost 2 entire runs of that. And that's the wrong way to do so. Me and Old Buccaneer discussed this in our previous podcast too. But I can explain it real quick, because the way they've done it now is make it really hard to get the Emissary to grade 5. Which is the wrong way to do, because then you have long play sessions and you need to invest a lot of time to get to grade 5. And during that time you can sync, you can get in PvP, or you need to go to work or make dinner or something like that, because it just takes a while. And not everybody has no social life like us, right? So you need to keep that in mind. So the way I would have seen it is just make the rep a little bit less, like make them still be able to get to grade 5, but make the rep reward for turning in a treasure less, so it takes a bit longer to get to Athena 20, and you still feel accomplished, and it does mean something when you do.
Yeah, but I think rep has always been tied. I think there's an underlining thing. Rep is tied to the amount of gold that you get, and I think that
is it.
I think so.
I thought those variables were, separate from each other.
I don't think it is.
Oh, do you know this, Liqourless?
I'm not sure on this topic. I don't grind
All
much.
Right.
I think I'm well, at least back, in the first year of Sea of Thieves, I'm pretty positive that rep had a direct correlation to how much gold an item gave you.
I always thought that a captain chest, for example, will give you the same amount of rep every time. Doesn't matter what captain chest, but the gold was always fluctuating. But it still gave the same rep.
No, I think it's the gold fluctuated in a way that it didn't. You wouldn't notice it.
All right.
Like I
well,
honestly...
yeah. You could be right. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Maybe Mr. Whaley, if he's listening, he can clarify for us.
All right, or maybe not subscribers. Some of my subscribers are actually quite knowledgeable about the game, and and they like to correct me, which is fine. If I make a mistake, please do, because I also always want to know what the correct answer is. So the next question was going to be about the arena. Well, we discussed the loading times, but not this new game mode. Again, this is something we discussed a little bit last podcast, but I would love some more opinions. So how do you feel about the arena right now? And I'm talking about the game mode, like 15 minutes, 1 chest. How do you guys feel about the current state of arena?
I think it's a big improvement from where it was. I know, of course, the biggest concern of everyone is, but one boat farms points on the other one. I know, but it's a lot better than chasing someone in wind who's running away with 5 chests for the whole game. Trust me, it's a lot better. It's much more easier to go over and smash that man in the face with a cannonball who's farming points than chasing someone with a chest. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an improvement in my opinion.
All right. And about you, Uni?
Yeah, so in my limited, I never played Arena before, before the change, Arena 2.0.
How many times did you play this new game mode?
One night. I played with Narfield, and we played 5 or 6 games, and we just so happened to be in the same lobby as Mixoplex, and he just absolutely destroyed us. But it was so fun. Like I had a lot of fun. I was really enjoying it. I think I annoyed Narfield because I was so just kind of going nutso. Like I couldn't even get wood out of a barrel. I was so out of it because it was completely different. It's completely different than adventure, but it was a lot of fun. And it was a lot of fun playing against Mixoplex. I had a couple good snipes on him, but every time he got on our boat, he just destroyed us. But it was fun.
Yeah, my opinion is, I actually don't like it. I like it for sloops, but not for galleons. Like most people, I'm not going to elaborate it. If you want to hear my extensive opinion about it, you can watch the previous podcast. Damn, I said it. I'm going to be harsh. All right. And the final. I just wanted to promote my other videos, right? You know how it goes.
See.
So the final topic is about Rare giving away all cosmetics. Sometimes they have events or even the Twitch drops right now where they give away old cosmetics. Like the Twitch drops aren't that bad actually, but I'm specifically talking about the Hungering Deep event, which they did for their anniversary, their second year anniversary, where they gave some of those super exclusive cosmetics that only month 1 or 2 players could get. So how do you guys feel about Rare giving away all cosmetics?
I hate it. I hate it so much. Please stop invalidating all my achievements, for God's sake. Like, that's how it is. I used to be like one of the rarest boats on the seas with my goddamn Bone Crusher sails and whatnot. And now everyone has them because they sunk 3 skeleton ships. 3 skeleton ships. Do you know how many skeleton ships I sunk when I had to wake up at certain times of the day to sink them skeleton fleets of 8 ships? 8 ships per fleet. Do you know how many fleets I had to sink?
All galleons
at certain
too.
times.
Oh,
and then these guys sink like 3 ships and get the sails. I am furious. Can you tell? This is ridiculous.
And what? And then wait, to get the sales. Wait, didn't we have to rock the same flag too during that particular event?
No.
Nope.
No, not at all.
No, the same. The same set. Wait, to get the whole set, you had to. Didn't you have to fly the same?
You can't get it. Oh, you mean before?
Yeah. Didn't you have to use if you went into the ancient or Shores of Plenty, everybody had to have the yellow sails. If you were in the wilds, everybody had the purple sails. Yeah.
Well, for accommodations, I don't know if those unlock those cosmetics. I think remember,
they did,
but
I think one of them they got.
Right.
Because in my video, like Whole New World is me getting the whole set, and then I think I unlocked it I was in an alliance in the wilds, with the purple sails. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to go back.
I need to watch that video. Don't know if I watched that one.
It's actually one of my top performing videos. I think it's because it's saying getting the Bone Crusher set.
Oh, that's also why I didn't click on that. Because I don't like those videos.
That's cool.
When I see a guy, I'm always not interested in it, but that's just me.
Well, it's not actually a guide; it's gameplay. On mine.
What's the name of the video?
It's it might just be getting the Bone Crusher set or something. It's not actually a guide.
All right, so there you go. That's your fault.
Oh, it needs to be a guide. It needs to be a how-to.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't actually. It's me having fun with the new update. That's a video I would click on.
Like Bone Crusher God or something.
Oh no! It says Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves curse sales.
Your music video is like I'm not gonna lie. It's the best Sea of Thieves video I've ever seen.
But
on
the
YouTube.
Title and thumbnail are horrible.
But the title sucks. It's just called music video.
I just noticed that. I just looked at it.
Title ever.
Music video.
Music video.
Nice one. I did not even look.
Well, just click on it.
You're so
Dumb. What else am I supposed?
You spent hours and hours of time making
20 hours
amazing content.
20 hours
and
of
then
editing.
You spent like 2 minutes on the thumbnail and the title.
That's after 20 hours of editing. That's all I can get.
Just take a break and the next day focus on making a thumbnail.
But it is, I mean, it says exactly what it is, right?
Yeah, but
I'm gonna put it out there now since we're on this topic. I hate the new title of your new video. I hate it so much.
What, mistakes?
fighting for 180k
Oh,
loot
yeah, well,
worth
I didn't-
against a seasoned galleon.
That's totally the other side.
What? It says exactly what the video is.
Yeah, but it's terrible. It's terrible.
I think it's great.
It should be my having
didn't
fun
even
with Liquorless or
capitalize
something
any
like
of it.
that.
Yeah, I didn't.
Or a
Oh.
popular YouTuber joined me, something like that. Or in this video, we have a
sinking
cameo
the
of Captain
treasure
Blubber.
galleon, all caps. like,
Yeah.
come on.
Like, I'm against clickbait, but you're the opposite, man.
I'm trying to prove a point.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's always been my downfall, or my
Okay, just
thumbnails
message
and
me next
titles.
time.
Your
I'll do it.
point to improve them.
yeah.
Uh,
I need to hire somebody. I'm gonna hire you, Liquorless, to
Yeah, go for it.
yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna take. Oh shit! I forgot to. I'm gonna cut this out. I forgot to do the commercial breaks. I can do it now.
Commercial
But
breaks.
before we dive into the yeah,
Uh-huh.
I got 1K subscriber. I can do commercial breaks
well,
now.
Yeah.
And before shut up. And before we go into the next topic, here's a commercial break. Welcome back. All right, there. I've got that
That's
sound bite. I'm
quick.
gonna.
Wait, so you
I'm
can put
gonna-
exactly where you want the ad?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do that with my videos, just for the podcast, because it's like 5 seconds, right? I'm just gonna plug it in there, maybe once or maybe twice,
Yeah.
and because it's a podcast, right? People just listening.
So
goes
should I
quite-
change my
quite
title?
fast?
Not now.
Yeah, you
It's
should.
Too late now.
Is it? Are you
I mean,
sure?
you can,
It
but
only
it's
has
a bit
600
late.
Is it?
views.
No, you can change it still.
I mean, you can,
I would.
but yeah.
I mean,
why not?
I usually it usually isn't good to change titles and stuff like that as a general rule.
Yeah, because people think they're
Um,
watching a different video.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Click it again.
Yeah, double views.
Yeah, but what's the name of the song? What's the name of the song? Maybe you do something with that and have a pirate spin on that.
Wait, oh, you mean for the music video one?
Yeah,
Oh well, that one only has 260 views. I don't know. Oh,
your music video.
yeah. I
Like
told
half of them
Yeah.
is just me, you know that.
I
Right?
told you it wasn't gonna get a lot of views. I mean, obviously my title
yeah.
and thumbnail don't help, but it is
Oh, your
what it
thumbnail
is.
isn't that bad actually. Your thumbnail in that video isn't that bad. Just the text on that thumbnail
Music
sucks.
video.
Music video is terrible. Like my music video did shit, by the way. But my music video is called New Shanty ?
Well,
And that still sucks, but still better than yours.
It could be a Thomas the Tank Engine music video for all I know.
yeah, maybe I
Oh.
should have worked on that. But that one took a lot out of me.
I bet.
Oh yeah.
Editing that.
Oh
one.
yeah. That too. Yeah. That should have been well. Right now, that's your magnum opus.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, it did get. I mean, so Sea of Thieves commented on it. They said they were going to share it to everybody, the rare people, and then Andy Preston, he retweeted my little preview I did of it.
Mhm.
So at least they saw it.
And I thought, we don't need to add private servers in now. This guy can do it anyway.
Yeah.
don't need
oh my
cameras.
god. Yeah.
What did you do?
You
screwed it up
I
for
screwed
us.
everything up. Yeah.
So we're going to go to the Well, let's go to the commercials. Welcome back. let's.
Sorry.
That was good. I like that.
You mean okay? So let's go to the message in the bottle, and that's the Q&A section. So people can post questions. They did with the last discussion, and now we're going to discuss them. So for the people who are listening to Mixer, now is the time to put in your questions. We'll discuss those too. So let's go to Oin Arrow first. He commented on my previous podcast. He says, "Wonderful podcast." As always, and I'm glad to see that your recognition is going up. So I'm now going to hit you with a bunch of questions, and they're all good, by the way. So the first question he asks is, what is your favorite representative of a trading company? He says, mine is Harry, because our whole crew thinks he's evil because he rips us off. So my answer to that was shoot a shipwright, even so she's not a representative of a trading company, because Sue is voiced by Louise O'Connor. I fucking love Louise O'Connor. But if I had to choose a head of a trading company, a representative, I would choose Madame Oya. She is the dark-skinned lady in the Omora Speak Outpost, also because I like her voice. I think her voice is really sexy. I just can imagine that, going home after a long day or drunk, more likely, and she's laying in bed and she said, I first saw your arrival. Like, I like her voice. So,
is this why you drink grog when you play Sea of Thieves?
It's not because I hate my life.
So you can sail tomorrow speak.
Like, it's the only female attention I get is my life is NPCs. All right. So what is your favorite representative of a trading company?
I don't know if I have a specific representative of the trading. There's NPCs near. So the Hunter's Hall NPCs, all those shopkeepers. I like them because they're kind of interesting. I think there's a lot more to the lore of the game with them. I think some of their dialogue changes that nobody notices except for maybe Falcor, that are hinting at certain things in the game. So I like.
Oh yeah, like Merfolk, right?
Or like dragon or something. One of
dragons.
Well, one of them is talking to like his invisible pet or his invisible buddy or whatever. And another one's kind of kooky in the wilds, who talks about weird stuff, which I think all have deeper meaning in the game. I'm assuming Liquorless likes the guy on the Ferry of the Dam.
I like the only one I know is the guy in the accessory shop who is voiced by Tom Whaley from the Arena dev team. That's the only one I know. So I'm going to go with that
one. All right. So his next question is, do you think that they could increase crew sizes by 1? I'll let you guys answer that one first.
Please don't.
I think they could, but I think a whole lot. The game would have to change, or they would have to introduce a different part of the game, or something different, dramatic would have to happen in order for them to increase a crew size by 1. Like, maybe if they did like a world event or something, they introduce a boat temporarily that had larger crews or something like that.
Oh, that's actually quite interesting.
But
as an interesting idea.
But as of right in the current state of the game, I don't see where that would provide any value to the game. But we'll see. I know, like I said, past podcasts, they have tested different crew sizes. But they, that's the extent to that conversation that they've had with the audience.
Yeah. I think as a solo player, 5 men on a galleon with revive is like my worst nightmare. So I'm not even going to go there.
Yeah. I think it would work for galleon. I think it would be an enjoyable experience. But as soon as you bring in the other ships, it doesn't. It's not balanced anymore at all.
Yeah, no.
So yeah. So I think it should remain this way. But to get back to those other ship types they're testing, what do you guys think it is exactly? What they are testing with that?
Maybe.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. You go, because I'm not sure.
Okay. I would assume it would be larger boats. I think that's what the assumption would be if they're. But maybe they're testing. They could also be testing different types of 3-person or 2-person boats. Different model types.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Which I think would be really cool. You could choose what kind of 2-man boat you have. You could have a sloop, or you could have like a different type of sloop that maybe the gun configurations are different. And they'll have their.
That's how I was thinking.
Like that.
There is concept art for different ship types too. I think there's one which is a pub. It's just a tavern, but then a ship version of that. And the original idea was it was like an NPC ship that roamed the oceans. So would you guys like to see something
that?
Like
Would be kind of neat. Yeah, it could be like a floating fighting ground. That kind of changed. Throughout the course of the game, the session.
All right. So let's go to his third question. He says, later in the game's life cycle, what kind of modding would you like to see? Just cosmetic changes or full-blown new regions and tall tales?
I want more world activities. That's what I want. I want more areas of engagement that brings boats together. Because the last thing they added was Fort the Damned. It was a huge success, but eventually it's died off, and we need something else like that, I feel.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I agree with that too. Like FOTT, I fucking love it. I still love it, but you know, this month in June, it kind of died out, had the novelty of it. But something like that again would really be cool, I think. Yeah. My answer to him was that I never thought of modding this game. Maybe it's because I'm an Xbox. I don't really think in mods, and I don't really want mods. I think this game has a pretty long life ahead of it. But if I have to answer, I would like to see old rare game levels recreated, like Treasure Trove Cove from Banjo-Kazooie, because of course I would say that, being the fanboy that I am. All right.
But
final question.
Oh yeah, they said you made a
go for it.
You made a comment that this game is far from over, and Joe Neat and Mike Chapman have said that the third year is going to be huge. So we'll see what that pans out to be.
Oh, nice, exciting. Yeah, I feel like the game is in such a good place right now, with all the content that we can do, especially for new players. Like they have a whole world to explore, full of content, and I feel like that was their goal all along, like a long-term plan, and keep adding good content, and they're on a good pace now. At least that's how I feel about it, of course. So his final question is, do you think you and whoever else is in the podcast with you can take on Grey Marrow, but you're not allowed to use weapons or magic for both of you, however, but you can surprise attack him? So my answer to him was that I'd probably befriend Grey Marrow first and then tie his feet to an anchor, because to be fair, if I had any real life enemies, that's what I would do too. Like get them into a comfortable, trusting position and then betray them when they're not expecting it, because that's just the person I am. So how would you guys take on Grey Marrow?
Can I not just get 100 cages of snakes and leave them all around him?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
Did they do that?
Yeah.
They already did it
for Fort, right?
Yeah.
Or did they do it with Grey Marrow?
I think
they did it for the Gold Hoarder.
They did it for the Gold Hoarder.
Yeah.
I want to say that they did it for Grey Marrow
for the Gold Hoarder.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, they did.
Well,
I think it's Kadaraf and guys.
Gullible Gambit.
How many snakes did they get in there then?
A lot. I don't know exactly, but I know that they're gonna lose a lot too, just because it's hard to bring stuff in there.
Yeah.
Like when people are trying to Alactar was trying to bring the Chest of Rage in there. I think he only got a handful of in there actually.
Oh my god, some people are committed, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How about you?
How would I kill him without weapons or without whatever?
No weapons or magic for both of you. Yeah, but you can surprise attack him.
I honestly don't know. I mean,
tell him some of your jokes.
Yeah, show my thumbnails and YouTube titles.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
That'll do it, man, for sure.
That's your answer on error. Thank you very much. You give great questions. I really like it. Don't stop with that. All right, let's go to Pella. We discussed him a little bit before because that's the guy that didn't really mind the namer tags for the alliances. He says, good job for this podcast. Keep up the good work. By the way, I'm really curious to hear you guys talk about this topic. What if, hypothetically, Sea of Thieves had no voyages and the gameplay was all about going into adventure without a plan? Obviously, there would be a lot of more random encounters / events. How do you think it would have been?
So I really like that idea, and I've early on in the game I've played a couple of coworkers, and there was a couple of play sessions where we did that, where we just went and we would find a random message of a bottle, do that, grab loot from different islands, do a fort, and it ended up being very profitable. which we didn't think would be possible. So I do like that idea, but I do think in any game, a game needs structure, and I think the voyages provide that for people. It provides instruction, it provides a tool for people to learn. But I do like that idea.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, I still play like that to this day. I don't do quests. I just go and see, where the sea takes me, and I just kind of go for neither big skulls in the sky or two people's ships. But yeah, you definitely require a linear progression route for people to go down who don't know what they're doing. So yeah, quests are pretty needed.
Yeah, I think especially right now, but the more they add, the less you need the voyages. So maybe in 2 or 3, well, maybe not 3, it's a bit too long, but maybe in 1 or 2 years, you can totally play the game if you want to. And to be fair, a lot of noobs are playing the game like that.
Yeah.
Nothing on the voyage table every single time. Oh well. So next question comes from Darth Sand, and he is actually a brand new subscriber to my channel, and he actually got subscribed because he liked the podcast, which is quite unique because usually my subscribers, they watch my other videos and then they listen to the podcast, but this guy got hooked in to the podcast, so really like that actually. And he was just wondering our take on new events that could be added, like creatures that don't spawn but instead roam around the maps, or any ways to add to the game frequently and keep it fresh beside cosmetics / more loot events.
Crabs.
Giant, yeah. Giant megalodon-sized crabs.
Yeah, that's gonna be the answer for a giant megalodon-sized crab.
Would you honestly want that? Like honestly?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think they should do like a big world event, every so often, where you require the server to band together to do it. I mean, they would have to balance it out because they're gonna get those people like, well, I can't get servers and I can't get the cosmetic, blah blah. So they would have to, figure that out. But it would be cool, to have that somewhere.
Yeah, I want a giant crab that spawns on a random island that does that dance, the big old meme dance the crabs do.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
But
I will quit this game if they do that.
On a serious note, yes, I do want, we need more world events, like Fort the Down, but varied. Whether it's a big monster spawning on an island that puts a big old cloud in the sky. We need more stuff like that. That's what's going to keep the game alive for both sides of the players, I think.
I feel so too, yeah.
I think if they diverted a lot of their attention right now to something like that instead of... okay, so it always shocks me how amazing and cool the areas are for Tall Tales. Like the recent one has an amazing area. It's really cool underneath in the caves and everything. But they need to use some of that effort for that amazing stuff for some cool world events instead. Like, they have so much effort and stuff put into these Tall Tale areas, and they're only used like 5 times when they have to.
Yeah, Shores of Gold and
3
Heart
times
of Fire.
with that cave.
Yeah, those are amazing.
You experience something really cool for 30 minutes, and then time multiplies that with 3, so an hour and a half, and that's the entire experience.
Yeah.
They put so much effort in it. Yeah.
But hats off to those artists for Heart of Fire and Shores of Gold.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, I mean, those are just
improvement.
amazing. Like, they deserve a raise, Rare.
I buy more crab depths. But yeah, he said so yeah, we would like to see more events like that. He says that don't spawn, which is a bit weird because you kind of need creatures to spawn, because otherwise the server couldn't handle it. If you have enemies roaming around the seas, it's cool, but the servers cannot handle that. It's too much. So they do need to spawn in, like the Kraken or a Megalodon, or a giant crab.
Could you imagine going to Crook's Hollow? That's one like, I can't do my quest because there's a giant crab conquering Crook's Hollow.
That would be awesome.
Oh, I still can't believe you guys actually want a giant crab in this game.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Like they keep hinting at it.
They keep hinting at crabs, not a giant crab.
Well, one could hope.
One could hope, indeed.
Enough videos, they'll bring it.
Yeah.
Speaking about that, I'm gonna do a crab-related video in the future, so stay tuned for that. After the commercial break. Welcome back. That's a joke, by the way. I'm not gonna do it.
I'm trying so hard not to laugh.
I'll stop myself laughing.
Yeah.
All right. Smiley the Clown asks, why is your mic not as good as in your but is it good videos? Well, the reason is I'm using a different mic. I'm using the mic for my headset. And I want to address this real quick because I think my headset is good enough for a podcast. But if you guys are listening and if you find it, really hard to listen to, let me know. I will look into different options if enough people complain about this, and we'll just take it from there, and I'll see what I can do about it.
I think it's coming through fine. On my recording, it's coming through fine. I think you sound pretty clear.
Oh yeah, I think so too. But if you compare it with my other mic, yeah, you can definitely notice the difference. All right, and our final comment comes from Ultimate Ragnarok. He's complaining about the Reaper's Bones being unbalanced. He gives an example. If you just get grade 5 and get a lot of cargo on your ship, which is really easy, you can just turn in all your cargo there, and you'll get to 75 in no time. So how do you guys feel about that?
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
So
it's not good, obviously.
No. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's hard to. Because the Reaper's Bones, you can just turn in everything there, So it's like. I mean, it is what it is. At almost. You get your multiplier. But maybe if they change the multipliers for Reapers only, that could balance it a little bit. But
yeah, I always felt that it should be only stolen treasure, but that might be a little bit too hard. But maybe give a little rep for normal treasure, and keep it the same for stolen. I'm not sure what the right way to do, but what I can tell is that I'm already level 75 with the Reapers, and Grant, I do a lot of PvP. I play a lot with that faction, but still, like it feels way too fast. I don't feel that accomplished. I still need to do a lot of commendations for Reaper Bones, and I'm already maxed out with my level, so that just doesn't feel right. I don't feel like I put enough time into Reaper's Bones to be justified level 75 yet. So they definitely need to tweak that, and that goes for most of the other emissaries too, by the way. Maybe not Merchant, because everybody hates that, so keep that. But it definitely feels like you level up too fast these days.
Yeah, and that's why I think they haven't, going back to one of my earlier statements or earlier theories, is that the relationship between reputation and gold is 1-to-1. I think they haven't gone back and tweaked any of that, because I believe that's set in stone, so they wouldn't even say, okay, these certain items only give a certain amount of rep, when you turn it in, but a different amount of gold. I believe it's set in stone. It's a 1-to-1 relationship.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Do you feel you get rep too fast now, Nicholas?
I'm not sure, because most of my Reaper's Bones was mainly off of stealing flags. I got very lucky with flags, and I've had a lot of them. So I feel like if it involves actually sinking someone and not stacking Fort the Damned and selling that at Reaper's Bones Outpost, I think selling flags should be fairly fast, because not everyone can do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously the ways that you described are way too fast to level up, but I think stealing flags is a reasonable way to level up.
Oh yeah, I feel the same, as long as people are doing it right.
Yeah.
Being an emissary, all right, and that's not always the case. So yeah, I want to thank all my subscribers and the lovely people on Mixer for posting all those questions. Always appreciate it. Next podcast is probably going to be another update discussion with Old Buccaneer. But any questions you would like to ask us, feel free to leave in the comments, and we'll probably, if they're good, we'll probably discuss them with the next podcast. So thanks again. And with that, we've also come to the end of the podcast. So I would like to thank UNIBALL and Liqourless for being amazing. And can you tell our listeners where they can find you?
You want me to go first?
Well, it's actually in the script. Who goes first?
Oh, you'll just edit it? Oh, wait, there's this. No, wait.
You can find me at youtube.com/Liquorless. I have amazing stuff to watch to pass your time. I highly recommend it. Leave a comment. Why not? I mean, I might reply, even if you leave me a nice mathematical question. I'll Google it for you and reply that. So yeah, I'll see you there.
And and I'm on YouTube.com/Uniball Gaming, because I couldn't get Uniball. If you want to find mine, and if you have suggestions for or if you know a good thumbnail artist, because I commissioned one for my last thumbnail. I don't know if he wants to be named, but and a good, maybe an English major or somebody for titles. Please feel free to comment on every single one of my videos that my title sucks, and then
I don't want to say that.
But yeah, youtube.com/Uniball Gaming.
And I myself can, of course, be found on this very channel you are listening to this podcast on. So please subscribe if you don't want to miss any future podcasts. And after that, go to UNIBALL and Liqourless and subscribe to their channels as well, and give them a lot of feedback in the comments, of course. So if you want to listen to us live, you should follow Captain Blubber on Mixer. That is Captain Blubber without space in between. You should be able to find me, and you should get a notification whenever we go live. And if you want, you can stay for after show, but if not, that's fine too. So thanks again to my amazing guests, and I hope you, the listener, will have a great rest of your day. So as always, stay safe, wash your hands, and take care.
Goodbye. You can say bye to Liquorless. I had to learn this after 2 podcasts.
Was it in the script?
I don't know.
Yes. It says
Okay,
Liquorless and Uniball say goodbye. That's exactly what it says in the script.
I see. Let me just check that quick.
Wait, where is it?
Yes. Farewell. Have a fantastic day.
All right, beautiful. Were you trying to say where does it stand in the script? I actually made it. I made it bold.
Doesn't know what script you're looking at. Not gonna lie.
Oh, I have to scroll.
Wait, there's
I have to
more
scroll.
pages to this.
Yeah, there's more pages.
Are you guys serious?
No clue. Yeah.
I thought it was 1 page.
Me too.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So you never read the other pages? I read the 5 pages.
Oh my god.
You only read the first. Oh my god, you're so terrible.
You did from what I can tell, this is a great
This is
job.
fantastic.
All the other podcasts, you didn't read it as well.
No.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Punctuation's good.
Oh my god. And you guys were thinking I was always saying this from my head, or what?
Well, no, I knew you had a script, but I didn't know it was provided to us as well.
I emailed you last week so you can prepare. Like, if it was just a topic list, I wouldn't attach a file.
Hey, you need to calm down, mister. We are your guests. That is no way to treat your guests.
Oh wow.
Oh my god.
That's just
why do I even bother? Why do I even bother preparing?
Well, I mean, obviously you're asking good questions because I feel like we're giving good feedback.
Yeah, we did well. We had no scripts.
Boom.
Yes, you guys are naturals and I'm not. All right, I love it. All right, next time, especially for next podcast.
Because I have a homework assignment.
Indeed, and this is also something I wanted to address in the after show, because me and Uniball, we're going to do a Sea of Thieves Athena's Fortune. So that's a novel of Sea of Thieves. We're going to read it and do an entire podcast about it. And I actually am holding it in my hands right now because it arrived in the mail just a week ago, and I'm really happy with it. So right now I've got 2 other books I'm reading at the moment, and after I finish those, I'm going to read this one. So it should be finished by the time we start that podcast. I'm quite excited about it. I kind of flipped through it a little bit, and it seems well written. So I'm excited for that to reading that novel.
Yeah, I need
How
to.
big is it?
200-300. How big? Hold on, I have to go grab.
How many?
How big? You don't ask a guy that how big it is.
Why not? This is just normal locker room talk.
260 something pages.
Yeah,
Jesus.
263 pages.
That's more
not
than
a
Tall
lot.
Tales.
Yeah, this should be a quick
Yeah.
read.
It should be a quick read. Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's written from the POV of Ramsey in his younger days too. Well, it's one of the two characters.
There's two characters' point of views.
Yes, Larina as well. I don't know Larina.
I don't either. Actually, I didn't know that. Like after reading how many pages, I was like maybe 60 pages in. I still didn't realize it was two different. Like, I mean, I knew it was two different points of view, but I didn't know it was like two different.
One of them has tits.
Yeah. Oh no! I knew that. I didn't know it was two different timelines.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought it was all the same.
Even though it says on the back end, right?
Well, that I read the back, and that's what told me.
You read the back. It said separated by time.
Yep.
But united by the drive to uncover the secrets.
I did that after reading 60 pages. Yep.
All right, gotcha. Yeah. All right. Wait, did you put it down or
Well,
what?
yeah,
or
no,
what
I always that's what happens with me. Like when I used to travel a lot for work, you know, it took me 3 years to read the third book of Game of Thrones, is because I only read it on the plane. So I'd read like a couple chapters on each trip, and then after X amount of trips, I finally finished, 1,000 pages.
Well, it's not 1,000.
The Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I know. It's not 1,000.
What is it? 962?
Something like that. you know when it comes to Ice and Fire, you call it Game of Thrones, but I call it Ice and Fire because that's the proper way to say it. I'm pretty big fan about that. Like I've got a lot of Ice and Fire books right here. I even got a cooking book.
Oh,
about
nice.
how to cook dishes about that are represented in those books. I'm really into that. It's one of the other things I can be quite a nerd about.
Yeah,
and that's Ice on Fire. I fucking love it. Have you read them all?
No, I started the fourth book on the last time I flew.
Oh yeah.
And when was that? That was November, December. I don't know. Before everything,
Yeah, the fourth book can be quite difficult to get through if you're reading it for your first time.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
It's yeah. I mean, and yeah, because the plot goes. There's way more world building and character development.
Yeah,
and not as much plot. I still love it, but not the first time. It took a while before that book grew on me, and now I fucking love it. Something else I want to do in that podcast, by the way, is talk about other video game books. Just quickly address it. So I don't know if you read any other books.
No.
All right, so I'm going to do that.
My next book, I'll
write it in the script that you don't read. So.
Oh yeah, my next book that I'm going to read, I have Steve-O's autobiography. Are you familiar with Steve-O from Jackass?
From Jackass?
Yeah.
Why would you even read that?
It's because it's
been through a lot.
Yeah, the dude's he's yeah. I mean, yeah, he's crazy, but like there was
an idiot.
Yeah, but there was a method to his man. Like, and he signs every single book that he did, and he puts his signature in, and it looks like a penis.
All right, if you're into that, all right. All right. Well, interesting choice of books. I read other literature, but that's all good. I'm not saying that my literature is refined. Like it's, I actually have a book here, and it's called Blackbeard's Pirates versus the Evil Mummies. That's the actual title. So, yeah. All right. Something I want to address in the off show as well, Liquorless, because you don't read. We know that.
Wait, what did you just say?
No, you're still there, right? Like,
yeah, did you?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was scrolling.
Oh, you're reading the script now?
No.
Oh, okay. So, no, because you need to change your name on Xbox, right? And if you don't want to talk about it, then I'll cut it out. But
I don't mind.
You're not called Liquorless anymore.
Nope.
Why not?
Because I lost my liquor. The word liquor is against TOS on Xbox now.
Yeah, that's weird. Like, did they suddenly change that, or what?
Yeah, suddenly changed it.
I have a
It makes no sense either, because there was no liquor in it, because it was liquorless, right? So why is that against TOS? I don't get it.
Do you think somebody reported you?
Maybe.
It's
highly possible.
I feel like that's what happened.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Probably.
They're probably not scrubbing it for, they're scrubbing it for new names being created. I'm sure, but like existing ones, like Are they really scrubbing their
No, I'm
database?
pretty sure I got reported. I get
Yeah.
reported in game all the time.
Yeah, probably somebody that got sunk by you or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
So another thing we usually do in the after show is talking about future content. So have you guys got anything exciting planned for your channel?
I don't personally, to be honest. It's rough. It's really rough right now.
Yeah, for me.
Because usually you put out a lot of videos, right? Like,
Trying to do a video a week. Sometimes it stretches to 2 weeks, depending on the week. But yeah, I mean, I'm still, of course, planning the same because content just kind of pops out of nowhere. I don't really have any idea when I'm going to get it, to be honest.
yeah,
It's just
This is
whenever it
both- this
happens,
is-
really.
yeah. There's both benefits and pros and cons to that type of content
Yeah.
you create. But that's really typical to your channel, right? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
How about you?
No, I mean, I have one play session. Like I said, I've only had like one real play session. I've had, I've jumped in the game a handful of times since the update. But the one that I have, I want to make content out of it. I don't know of exactly how or the approach I'm going to go with it. My only problem right now is just work. Like my project ends like at the end of the month unless it gets extended, and I just can't. I'm not even playing much just because work is just killing me right now. So I don't have anything planned except for that one. Like I said, that one. And I may try to do some recreations. Maybe not as all out as. I mean, I would need, if I really wanted to go all out on this, I would need like 5 boats.
Damn.
But that's just
That ain't
way.
gonna
Why
happen.
why
Yeah,
didn't
it's
you
just
never
way-
tone down? Like you make this one project and like
I
damn,
know, I
it's
just
a
can't.
big ass project, and then,
And then I'm gonna
next
burn
one's
my.
gonna be even bigger.
Yeah, I know. And then
and you just keep
it's
expanding, man.
it's just gonna get.
You can't maintain it.
Yeah, it's
That's the
too
problem.
too hard to maintain. So I need to figure out a way to still produce content on a normal schedule, that's still up to my standards, but try not to kill myself with, the ideas that I have. Because like Liquorless said, I mean, it's not sustainable. It's too much.
Yeah, indeed. And I've told you before, like burnout for YouTubers is a real thing. You should really take care of yourself first. And that's what I try to do too, right? With manageable videos, I'm still able to put a video, at least one each week. And all of them are, similar in effort, except the reviews. They take a bit longer, but that's fine.
Yeah. Which are good, but your reviews
yeah.
are really good, by the way.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm proud of them too.
Yeah.
Like, those are really, well, not works of art, but
Yeah, I usually watch.
I am really proud of my update reviews, like all of them.
Yeah, Fuzzy was normally my go-to on reviews, but now I've been watching yours and his recently.
Ooh, nice. Thank you.
So you're up there. You're up there in my book on review quality. is up there.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I heard from other people that they like my reviews because there's no bullshit around it.
Yeah.
It just tells you how it is, and plus the fact that I actually play the update.
And it's actually your gameplay. Yeah.
And it's most of it. I mean, sometimes I'll take a little bit from the trailers, of course.
Yeah,
But a lot of it is mine, and that makes it unique. Nothing against the other content creators, because if you want to know it as soon as the update comes out, the information, you should watch those. But if you want a more opinionated video about the updates, then you should watch my reviews. Yes. Anything else you guys want to talk about in the after show?
Not off the top of the dome, to be honest.
Yeah, no. I'm looking how well your script is.
Oh my god!
I can't believe you did this for every single one. I never saw it.
Yeah, I do.
How
I'm
many
gonna ask
times
Old
is that?
Buccaneer now.
I've
I'm
done-
gonna ask Old Buccaneer
Yeah,
now
ask Old Buck.
Because my last script was 8 pages.
This is
right?
my third one, Liquorless.
And
I bet
It's-
I get the feeling
what-
old Buccaneer would have seen it.
but I think so too. But what are you guys thinking then? Because I told you, I'll have the script ready then and then. I'll make sure it's on time, and I'm just doing my best to get it out there for you guys. And you there's not a bell. The bell doesn't ring in your head.
No bells.
because-
Just
Did
open the
he-
page.
did
Yeah,
he
I see the-
spend like
the
2
topic
weeks writing this?
Aftershow.
It's just a topic
Yeah,
list.
nice bullet points. Quick
Yeah.
summaries, quick information. All I need to
Boom.
download. Oh, that's good thoughts. Close. Yeah, see
Yeah.
you there. You know?
Yep.
All right.
When do I gotta show up?
And you too, Uniball. You never wondered why I said, well, you if you want to change something or add something.
Well,
but you
I just
never
thought it was on
commented
the
back.
on the topic list.
Oh, God. All right.
You know what?
Well,
You know what?
I wonder if it's gonna be different now.
Put a page
wonder if
one
it's
on the
gonna be
top.
different
Exactly.
now.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Put a big bold page 1, center it, at least size 26 font.
Oh my
Page
God.
1. ...
Heavy Comic Sans. Yeah.
You guys need to learn to scroll down, or at least look how big the file
You're
is. Or something
outdated,
like
man.
that.
This is not the society for that anymore.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm still glad that even with just a few words, we can make an entire podcast.
Yeah. You're doing a great
All
job.
right, and thanks. And I think on this high note, because I don't want to rant against you guys. On this high note, I want to close the after show. So for anybody who's still listening, thank you very much for listening to the after show. Always appreciate that. If you do, yeah, have a great day. Take care, wash your hands, and just be amazing. All right, thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
All right.
See you next time.